I know it seems somehow.
Alright, guess that's how we're
Ready?
starting it. Alright, and alright, welcome back everybody to the Wardrobe Podcast. I'm joined today by returning guests Gavin,
Hey.
Brandon,
Hey.
and new guest Tanner,
What's
Walleye
good?
Egg. And
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, welcome to this
Yourself.
week's edition of the Wardrobe Podcast. Just about the Spotify thing. Yes, it was in the first video and there's no link. That's a work in progress. I'm gonna wait till a few episodes till I get a official Spotify playlist. But other than that, let's get right into today's podcast. Now, today's podcast, it's a pretty important one in terms of us as friends. It pretty much defines us. It's who we are. Gaming, cringe for a little. Let's just hop right into it. So, I didn't. I said that first part, the whole we started out pretty much gaming since we were little tots. I would like to know y'all's. So, essentially, what I'm getting at is what is the first game you ever played? The game that initially got you into gaming. Now, I know Tanner said he had a story for this one, so I think I'll let you start us off there, Tanner. What was the first game you ever
Okay.
played?
Pass the mic.
Um, the first game. Well, I don't remember the first game I've ever played because then I was sort of like on and off. I wasn't like gaming constantly. But the time I considered myself like when I actually got into video games was I walked upstairs and my dad was sitting there in front of the TV playing Modern Warfare 2. And I asked him what he was doing, and he says, "Oh, I'm just playing the campaign because I'm bored. I got off work and I have really nothing else to do." And so I watched him play for a bit, and I thought it was pretty interesting. And so he says, "Oh, here I gotta go do something real quick. Do you want to play for me?" And I said, "Sure. Just tell me the controls and I'll play." And so he taught me how to move. He taught me how to shoot. He taught me how to aim down, and I just started playing and I immediately fell in love with it, and that's why my personal favorite game is first person shooters. I I'm a big fan of those. That's why I play like Siege and Overwatch and Call of Duty a lot because that's my favorite type of genre, and that's what I sort of grew up around. It's because of my dad, and that's also he's sort of also to blame for my habit, I'll call it.
It's a good thing he didn't just give you the controller and he was playing multiplayer, like online.
That is true. I would have multiplayer would have been bad. Well, at the time we didn't have Xbox Live, but it's because we didn't really know what it was. It was sort of like the first month or two when we had it because I think we got it for Christmas. We got it for Christmas before then, and so I played a few games on it before then. But again, I wasn't really into it until my dad started playing Modern Warfare 2.
Hmm. How old were you at the time? Do you remember?
Um, I'm not sure.
Hmm.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that's fair. But that's a pretty good way to get into gaming. Like a lot of us, me in particular, I don't know about Gavin and Brandon. I was we were all like introduced into gaming by a family member or a sibling of sorts. Which my story is actually pretty similar to yours. Uh, when I was about like 4 or 5 years old, let me ask y'all something real quick. Do y'all remember what plug and plays are?
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so for anybody who doesn't know what a plug and play is, it's basically this little. It was essentially a game console. It was like either one little joystick or like a pad or something, and you just plugged it in the TV, and it was basically a game console. And it had
Oh,
small
now
sticks
I
for
know
games.
Java. Yeah.
And I just remember one day I was at my grandpa's house, and my dad was playing on this old Miss Pac-Man plug and play, and that was really the only kind of gaming my dad did. Like even now, my dad really only plays like old like retro games like from his childhood, which I understand. But when I first saw him playing it, he was playing Miss Pac-Man, and I just sat there and watched him for hours until he like left and was like, "Here, you want to play?" And I was like, "It's Pac-Man. It's simple enough." And it's just like I remember just playing that game for so much in other like old Namco games like Mappy, Xevious. What's that other one? Not Galaxian. What's that? That
Galaga.
Galaga. That's the one. God, I love Galaga. Ah, sorry, I have the sniffles.
He's
But
crying.
no, I was laughing a lot earlier. Anyway, but yeah, my dad pretty much introduced me to it, and my older brother, Chris, he hold on a second. Sorry. Speak of the devil, he just entered my room. And well, he's gone now. But Chris, he got a Wii. It was like Christmas of 2008, and that's what really like got me into it. And like I can tell, like I still have a bunch of the old games, like from like we have a PS2, we have a bunch of old PlayStation 1 games. Like I have a varied history, and we'll go into that in a little bit. But yeah, I was basically introduced to it by my dad and then my brother. So pretty similar stories between you and me, Tanner. So Brandon and Gavin, do y'all have what are y'all's the earliest experience with gaming y'all can remember?
Well, actually, my original story is very different than yours because, as you said, a lot of people have it introduced to them through family members or, like relatives of any kind. For me, everyone at daycare, I remember it was daycare, everyone at daycare was obsessed with having the DS. And I'm like, hell yeah,
Oh,
I want it too, and that was my go-to. So like I think it was just like a couple Christmases in, I think my fourth birthday, my family decided, hey, let's get him a DS. So I got a DS and I just got the Mario games and whatnot on there, and I just played
God, I
those were
remember
my
playing
first
Mario
games.
Kart
Dude,
DS
Mario Kart DS
on
is the
my
jam.
on the DS.
Did
God, dude,
y'all
that was
ever
so
like
much fun.
did y'all ever like with Mario Kart DS like get everybody who had the like just have these big like LAN
Yes.
races?
Yes.
Dude, those
Yes,
were
I
No,
did.
so much
I
fun.
remember like on the last like the sometimes on the last day of school in elementary school, people with the DS would gather around and then we just play Mario Kart. Or just on those like special occasions, we just gather and play Mario Kart on the DS, and it's pretty cool.
It's one of the big things that bring us together.
Yeah,
That's
it's LAN gaming or local
I
gaming, not LAN.
Gavin, as soon as you said daycare, I instantly remembered the daycare I went to, and I remembered they had like a game section, like with like they had like consoles in there, like an N60. They had an N64, a PlayStation 1, and a
Oh yeah,
GameCube.
yours is much cooler than mine.
Yeah,
We had a
and
VHS player, and that was it.
yeah, and whenever like because they didn't allow until you were a certain age to go in there, so I was like super excited to finally go in there, and this was like when I was 7, and I tried playing Mario Kart 64. And I don't know why I remember this, but I just only remember holding the accelerate button and not knowing how to steer. I was a pretty dumb kid. That's
well,
why I
I
stopped
think you have
playing.
to learn how to steer
Yeah.
eventually. You don't, you're not born with the ability to drive.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway,
What about you, Brandon?
yeah, what
How'd
about
you get into
you,
gaming?
I
Gavin?
think my first experience was actually kind of like Tanner watching someone else, and that guy was Steven. Because in Cub Scouts, me and him would always go to this other kind of break room area in the church that we went to
Hmm.
for the troop meetings.
I think
And
I
I
know
would
what room you're talking
always
about.
watch him play the game called Cave Story on his DS.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I know what room you're talking
A
about.
rare one.
And then one day I'm like, "Hey, Mom, Dad, can I get a DS?" And then I got one, and I started playing. And the first game I played was Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
my game.
that's that,
I think.
that wasn't my first DS game. The first DS game I got was actually Mario versus Donkey Kong.
I don't know what my first DS game was.
I
It
do
was
remember what my first
probably
Wii game was, and that was
that was Wii
because
Sports.
no, it was not.
Well, for me, it was
My
Wii Sports.
first Wii game was Mario Kart Wii,
I had a feeling
That
that was also my
was
first Wii
a
game.
good one,
and
though.
that is why it's like my favorite game ever. Because, and this is actually a funny story. I got it. I think I was 5 or 6, and my uncle, not my uncle, my grandpa, he gave it to me for my birthday, and the entire Wii with the game. And the first thing I wanted to do was play it. I played one race, and then for some reason, a stupid ass kid, I was afraid to play it. I'm like, oh, dude,
Why?
this is a scary game. Hell no. So I gave it to my parents, and so I had to watch my parents play the game.
Mario
And then
Kart?
after months of watching my parents play Mario Kart, I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna be a big boy and actually play this horror
What
game called Mario
about
Kart.
Mario Kart is
VR, the
scary.
horror experience.
One other game, like when I got the Wii, my first Wii game was Death Junior: The Root of Evil, which you play as this kind of little Grim Reaper kid, and it's like a 3D platformer type game, and it was real. It's really fun,
Yeah, I remember
really. So
that
I thought
game.
so, and that's what got me into like creepy games and stuff because the atmosphere was so like cool. There's like giant baby doll heads that had like roaches crawling out of them. It
Hmm.
was cool.
It kind of reminds me of a game called Among the Sleep. The
Ah,
premise is
yeah.
like that, but I feel this is off topic, but I feel no shame in saying that Markiplier was the person who got me into horror games. Just simply watching
Fair
him
enough.
play like
You don't need Shane for that. That's
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
know.
That
mean,
was
my first horror game I ever played was probably FNAF. I mean,
That's honestly
yeah.
where I'm at too.
I mean, I didn't know about horror games until the YouTube population came about.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
mean, I think I knew about like Resident Evil or something, Silent Hill maybe, but other than that, like until like 2014 when FNAF came out, I was like, "Oh, they could be scary."
They
Other
could
than
be
Mario Kart,
scary.
other than Mario Kart Wii, I mean, I knew that.
Mario
Mario
Kart
Kart.
Wii, the horror game. Dude, I mean, it wasn't until like somewhat recently that I really got into like I'd say recently as in like maybe two years. Like cuz Resident Evil like games like Resident Evil and I haven't played Silent Hill but I really want to. But like games like those like I love Resident Evil so far like I've played almost every single game and I love the way the game feels and there's like other like anonymous like well not anonymous like what smaller horror games like there's this game called well if you watch Markiplier you probably know it's called Anatomy and
Mhm.
it's just like it's scary without jump scares it's just like how much like it's terror in its truest form I'll say that y'all should definitely play it
Hmm.
if y'all are I think Brandon I think you would enjoy it quite a bit
I
but
think I've
Okay.
heard of it before.
you should it's only a few bucks and it's a really good
Is it
game
on Steam?
I think it is I don't quite remember I'll have to check
Alright.
all right but
Hold on. I remember. Okay, everyone's played Wii Fit, right?
Yeah, of course. I played it
Yeah.
last week.
Okay. So no, there's this one particular mini game on Wii Fit that I hated. I was so scared of it, and I'm pretty sure some of y'all I'm pretty sure y'all know what I'm talking about. But it's that one like balance yoga game where you just sit on the board
The
and there's
candle.
just like a
Oh, it's the
candle on the
candle.
screen. I hated that one.
That
I
scared me.
because
I
did
hated
play that last week,
I know.
and I made it through fine. And then I watched my sister do it, and it did like a weird scream at her.
Yes, I
And
know. It was like
it didn't do that to me. So I was genuinely surprised to see that like scare the shit out of
Well,
my
'cause
sister.
Yeah, I
it's a
know. You
balance
just
game.
tell you to close your eyes so you have no clue what the fuck's going on. And
I-
like you can only tell when something's about to happen when you hear your cannon go. But other than that, you've no clue. You've no clue when it's just gonna say ah. Scare the shit out of you.
I
Yeah.
remember doing that. I did that mini game. I don't remember the last time I played with, but the last time I did that mini game, I don't know. I don't remember. Does that mini game end after a certain amount of time?
Yes, I beat it
Yeah.
first try. I
Yeah,
just
I did too.
didn't make the candle flicker at all. My ass cheeks are so balanced that didn't move an inch.
Well, it also
I
helped because it's basically what in its truest form, it's a meditating game.
Yeah.
And I already did, and
And
around that
I'm
time,
not good at
a
that.
few years ago, I already did do meditation in that kind of form because I was really stressed out at certain points.
Will was a spiritual
Dude,
person.
I forgot about those. Oh,
What?
Forgot about what?
you know, like the kitty PC games, like the Leapfrog
Yeah.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
games.
Technically, that was my first den. Yeah.
One of I think the first one, like the first ever game that I played was on PC. It was the I Spy Spooky Mansion game.
Ah.
I had an I Spy like
And
lighthouse game.
I remember that skeleton with the lantern looking out the door so vividly.
Oh
Oh
no.
no.
I loved him like a son when I saw him.
You just gave me. You just reminded me of something. Like when you said like y'all remember? Did y'all ever have like old computer games that were actually on discs?
No.
Yes,
Okay.
I
that
never
was the I
played
Spy
computer
one.
Okay,
games.
Brandon, there was this game I had that it was like it was like it was like a little collection of SpongeBob games. And there was this one game that absolutely terrified me on that collection. And it's basically it's like a Pac-Man game, but
All right.
you're inside of Patrick and you have to like clear out
Patrick?
his intestines and body parts. And it didn't help that there was like the worst ambient music playing in the background, so it was literally a horror game that it just terrified me whenever I couldn't play it. I played it once, I was like, fuck this shit, and then I just I think I broke the disc after that too.
Oh my god.
Wow, we kinda got off track there. But
We did a little. I
we
mean,
did a
hey, we're
little bit.
still talking about games. We
Yeah,
just
we're still
switched to
talking
talking
about games. We're
games.
still talking about games. So let's go into the next part of the next big part of this podcast. So I want to know y'all's like what
Social
consoles.
security number.
Give me your social security number. But I want to
Um,
know what consoles y'all started out with and like, what consoles you got afterwards leading up to now. And maybe like some of your personal opinions on like, PC console, like some like opinions like those. I'm
We
this
is the best.
podcast is this podcast is willing to hear your opinions. So,
All right.
who would like
Yeah,
to?
I'll start with this one.
All right.
Well, I already started up. I mean, you guys know I started with the DS and I started with the Wii, and so I just kept on going down that train. I had the Wii U, I had the 3DS, and now I have the Switch. But other than that, my family had an N64. I just I never wanted to play it, and I still barely want to play it because it looks old, and old looks gross.
What?
That's a joke.
James
Okay.
really. This is off topic,
That's-
but James really wants to buy an N64.
Yes, it's fun, but I hate the control stick.
Yeah, I held one of the controllers ones. Like, how do I hold this? Do I hold the center with what do I with my foot?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I also had
No.
an Xbox 360 and a PlayStation 2. Now I never once played the PlayStation 2 because I had no idea how. But the Xbox, we had that weird Connect thing where it's I had your motions, and I remember playing a Disneyland game, and like you go around like like an exact recreation of Disneyland in Anaheim.
Hmm.
But I remember like all of the games were garbage, and the park was so empty that it was almost like a horror game.
So there has to be a game like that out there, like a sister, like a FNAF sister location, like game of Disney World or
I would
Disneyland.
love to play that
That would be
actually.
awesome. Because I've thought of something like that for a while. It's like that'd be amazing. Actually, like just as an indie game. All right.
Mhm.
You have anything else, Gavin?
Um,
Well, to get back to the Nintendo line, I think the best Nintendo console is the Switch, and don't tell me otherwise. It's the reason why it's the best is because it's the newest, and they're making progress to make it better. The motion controls on the Wii were ass. We could all agree it was revolutionary, but it was still ass.
There
The
were a
Nintendo
few games
Switch
where the controls weren't that
has
bad.
yeah, but that's the games, not the Wii.
That's fair.
And the Switch has it on point, and I love that.
Especially with Mario
okay,
Odyssey.
Yeah, Mario
I can go
Odyssey.
next.
All right. Go ahead.
I think the first console I really had was the Wii, but I really didn't play it much at the time. And then I got an Xbox 360, and then that's when I started playing both my Xbox 360 and the Wii at the same time. And then after that, I got a DS, and I got like mostly all the I got mostly the DSs. Like I just got DS Lite after that, and I moved up to DS XL, and then I got the 3DS, and I just stopped there. After that, and I didn't even after when I had the Xbox 360, I didn't even know like PlayStation existed until I walked over to my neighbor's house or to my friend's house. Well, they were my neighbors, so and they were just playing on their PlayStation 3, and I'm like, "What's that?" And they're like, "Oh, it's a PlayStation 3." And I'm like, "There's another console?" And they're like, "Yeah." And so they were playing Burnout Paradise, I think. It's kind of like
Oh, that game's fun.
just yeah. And so I got really into got into that, and then I got after that I got a Wii U, and then I got a PS4, and then I got and then I got my PC, I think, and then we finally got the Switch after that.
The
Now I'm not
PS5.
really. What'd you say, Brandon?
The PS5.
Well, I will be getting the PS5 when it comes out, probably. But I never really was. I'm not a big Nintendo person. I'm not like the biggest fan of Nintendo. I do like Nintendo, but I'm just saying that's probably not my go-to console. If anything, it'd probably have to be PlayStation. I really enjoyed playing my PS4 a lot, and it's, in my opinion, way better than the Xbox One or any of the Xboxes I've had.
Okay.
And so,
Sorry to interrupt, but we can all collectively agree that Xbox is like the worst of the three like major
Dude,
consoles.
I'll be honest.
I grew
wouldn't
up with
know.
Xbox 360
Yeah,
was great. It was
that
much
was the
better than
bomb.
Let me
PlayStation
rephrase
3.
myself. Xbox One.
That is true.
You see, I
I
can't
will agree with
agree
you there.
because I haven't played either the
I haven't
Xbox One
played
or the PS4.
PlayStation.
I haven't
I've played
any of them.
Xbox One and PlayStation 4
Like
and like the Nintendo Wii and Switch.
From what I could
It's
tell,
significantly
PS4 has a lot more
worse.
content and a lot cooler games, so I'm gonna go on their side probably.
Even though Xbox does have Halo, but now PC has
Yeah,
Halo. So
PC has Halo, but that's all Xbox has. It's like Halo and Gears of
yeah,
War.
Yeah,
PlayStation, Sony, they have a lot more exclusives. They have Uncharted, they have Crash, well not really anymore. They
they
have
have,
they have Last of Us. What else? They just have a ton of IPs and exclusives.
they have a lot of.
see, the reason I grew up with Xbox 360 is because my dad bought one for himself, and then it was like, "Hey, you want to play when I'm?" Yeah, I was like, "Sure."
Like
It also had the Kinect, which is
yeah,
also pretty
And then I
cool.
played Skyrim, and that was fun.
I don't think the 360 is a bad console at all. It's just like comparatively, the Xbox One feels a lot felt like a downgrade. Like
Yeah,
I'll
it
go into
was
my this actually
shitty.
leads up into my console racing, and mine I think is a little bit longer. So first, I started out with that old plug and play with Miss Pac-Man and all the old Namco arcade games, which I still love. I still have it, by the way. I just don't know. I just can't figure out how to get it to work because the cables on it are like so old. I don't think they can plug into any of my TVs. So that's a bit sad. And then I had a PlayStation 1 at a there's we kept it at this beach house my grandpa owned, and like anytime we weren't out fishing or just we were just chilling, me, James, and Chris would all gather in the bedroom that it was in, and we would all play old games like Spider-Man. There was an old Magic Kingdom racing game. I bet y'all didn't even know that exists. There was a Magic Kingdom Disney World racing game on the PlayStation 1. That's actually pretty fun.
Look, yeah, I'm gonna look that up right now.
And then I had games like Hot Wheels Turbo Racing, Sledstorm. Like we all really loved racing games, and like even now I still like occasionally buy like a PlayStation 1 game. But like I think I remember playing Spider-Man the most because this is spoilers if y'all care. If y'all I don't even think y'all will ever even play it. But for Spider-Man on the PS1, there's a final boss sequence that's like it has a villain that's completely unique to the game, and that's part of the reasons why I think it's one of the better Spider-Man games released because it just has so much like content pumped into it. But there's a final boss sequence that's basically a combination of the villains Carnage and Doctor Octopus. And in theory, that sounds cool. Be- but in concept, and by concept, I mean the PS1's limitations, it looks downright terrifying. I'll send y'all a picture of it in a little bit, but that gave me nightmares, especially it's the entire sequence. It's not even a fight; it's a chase sequence, and if you die, you fucking explode. He fucking tears you apart and blood. It's brutal, dude. But yeah, after that, uh, fuck, I lost my train of thought. Damn it. Okay, all right, I got it back. So after that, it I we got a Chris got the Wii, and we all three of us got DS Lights. Chris had it. Well, actually, no, I'm forgetting one. We had a GBA that when Chris got his DS Lite, he gave us, me and James, the GBA, and we only really had a couple games on it. I remember this one Muppets game that we had on it, and then we also had The Incredibles. And then after that, we got the PS2 from a neighbor whose kid was going to college and didn't want it. And if y'all don't know, I'm pretty sure Gavin knows, I'm starting to collect games for it because somehow, in its like almost 20-year-old state, it still works just fine. I still play games on it pretty often, and I'm starting to collect games for it now. But like growing up, I remember playing games like the original Battlefront 2. That is, if y'all ever get the chance to, well, I'm morally speaking to Tanner. If you ever get the chance to play the original Battlefront 2, play it. It is
I
incredible.
have it, and I've played it. It's fun.
It's a
I
great
don't think I
game.
played the original. I don't
There's
think I played the original Battlefront 2.
you should if you ever get a chance to play it like through an emulator, I highly recommend it. And I also
I
remember
think it's
playing.
on Steam. Yeah.
It might be on Steam, yeah. And
It
then I
is.
also remember playing games like Cars and the Lego Star Wars games, which they're so fun. Like especially when I got the complete saga on the Wii. But more on that later. Like we just had all sorts of games I remember pouring hours into, like the SpongeBob game, like Battle for Bikini Bottom, the original in all its glory. That's a classic game right there. And
I think I played that once, but at like a friend's house.
yeah, it's a great game. But after the PlayStation, the Wii, and the DSs, we got upgrades on the DSs, got the 3DSs. And I never got a new 3DS, mostly because like I didn't really care about Virtual Console or like the games that you could get with the new 3DS. Like, what am I really gonna care about Xenoblade? I do now, but I didn't, when I first had it because I was a bit of a, you know, I couldn't even beat Pokemon because I never read through the text that actually taught me how to play the game. But well, actually, going back to the Wii, if y'all if y'all ever notice, like watch like my whenever I'm gaming, I often go through phases of what games I like to play. And that's why I have a bunch of like
Yeah,
Cabela's games, like Cabela's Sports and Outdoors,
like
like hunting
yeah, the hunting
simulators.
games.
Yeah, I have like
Yeah,
every single hunting game that was ever released for the Wii. And then I also have I have all the Sonic games, which I still play from
Ew.
time to time. I still enjoy. That's one of the games like it's not like, yeah, I don't really want to play this. It's one of the games like, oh, I'll go back and play it. It's still pretty fun. All right, now we're moving on. And then after that,
I mean,
what's up?
never mind. Keep going. I
Okay.
lost it.
And then I got an Xbox One, but I never really played on it that much. That was more or less James's console. The only game I've ever really played and finished on it is Kingdom Hearts 3. And then I got the Switch. And the Switch has honestly been one of my favorite consoles. Even though the Wii House is the greatest game of all time, Super Mario Galaxy 2. We'll go
No,
into
it's
a
Mario Kart
section.
Wii.
We'll go into a different section for that in a little bit. But I love the Switch because I've grown up with Nintendo so much. I love the games on it. I love all the third-party support. Like I can play games like Dragon Quest on the Switch, and I think that's pretty incredible. I can play Final Fantasy VII, the original one, not the remake, but the original one on my Switch. And I think like I just love all the third-party support. I love all the work
Sorry.
being put into fixing like stuff like the online, and I just love how much effort is being put into making the Switch a better system. And yeah, I have my computer, but I'm not talking about my computer. So yeah,
It's
it's
garbage.
garbage. All
All right,
right.
and I think it's Brandon's
Yeah, I
turn
think it's
now.
Brandon's turn. Sorry, I kind of went off on a
So
rant there.
it's fine. The first thing I got, well, it's not really a game; it's more learning, but is the Leapfrog console thing,
Mhm.
and I played the Leapfrog adventure games, and I think I did play SpongeBob games on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Faintly remember something about that. But then I had the Wii, which I loved and still love. Have a lot of great games on there, which are all legal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. City Folk.
Yep, yep, legal. Yep. Anyways, then I had the Xbox 360 where I'm almost entirely played Skyrim and Minecraft on. I played Minecraft with Connor a lot, and I loved because there's this Herobrine skin on there. So I'd fake peeing on there, and he'd be like, "Oh no, it's you! I see your name tag." And I'll be like, "Oh."
The ultimate
It
prank.
was all fun and games until you learn how to disable name tags.
Yeah, I learned about that afterwards, and I was like, "Dang it!"
Damn, you really could have got me if
But
you knew that.
yeah, after that, I think I had like the DS and some other things, but now I have to the PC, which is the best, in my opinion, right now,
That's fair.
because you can get a lot of stuff. I'd really love to get a PS2.
A PS2?
To yeah,
Okay. I was like, are you
to
meant to say a different, like a PS4, like PS5 or whatever? I was like,
no, because I want to play like Silent Hill games and stuff like
that's fair.
that.
I recently got Resident Evil 4 and I absolutely loved it. But I'm very surprised that none of us mentioned Minecraft except for Brandon. Because, like, Minecraft's the whole reason I even have the tag, my tag. So,
Yeah, mine too, basically.
yeah, well,
Yeah, me
Gavin's
too.
also, yeah, pretty much all of ours. Well, I don't know about Tanner.
My name, no, my name. I literally just was sitting at like in the middle of the night, just saying like, what's a pretty funny name? And I said, Lol, I
Lol.
am egg.
The
I
lol
That's
am
a
a
egg.
that's a pretty funny name right there. And I thought it would just be like this can just be a funny Discord name I'll use for a little while, and then I just kind of stuck with it.
Hmm.
That's fair. Mine wasn't necessarily a tag. Y'all probably already know this story, but my tag, it wasn't ever a tag because before I was NewPants 0, my original tag, and if you deep dive into like my emails and whatnot, which no, y'all will never do that because you don't have my email. But in my original like Minecraft tag was actually, oh god, I'm gonna kill myself for this. And
oh.
I'll just tell you this now. It's
Oh,
all because I was a Skyda's Minecraft fan. My tag was Buttermilk
buttermilk
2W10.
brand TW10.
That's
Yeah.
where the Buttermilk brand came from, and like,
Don't forget about your Instagram.
Wait,
It's still
was
called
butter
that.
spelled with two D's?
No, it's not. It's spelled
no,
with two T's,
spelled
sadly.
two
No,
T's.
that's how he spelled it
That's
with.
how Will spelled it wrong.
No,
Hey,
that's how.
No, I'm saying
Butter,
Will spelled it with
not
two
butter.
T's.
yeah, I
Butter.
spelled it the
He
right
spelled it
way.
the correct way, which is the wrong way.
Yeah, I know. But like, I still have to live with the fact that that was because like my main email now is like different from the one I used to have, and I'm stuck with it because the tag is there, and I can't get rid of the email because I use it for other important things like well, not necessarily for Scouch, but like other things like websites and whatnot, and so I'm permanently stuck with it. So yeah, but going back to where New Pants came from, that was originally a Minecraft server that me and my brother James shared. It was the name of a creative server, and I remember me and James spending hours on there. Like, even if we didn't know what we were doing, like, we were in creative, we just found a village and we just kept expanding it outwards. And it was honestly the most fun I think I'll ever have playing Minecraft, like with just like with someone like James, because James, if once he gets his computer back, because I don't know if y'all know the situation with his computer, but I'm not gonna go into detail here on the podcast. But once he gets it back, he'll be able to play on like the version of Minecraft we all play on, and he might be able to join us at some point.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I think that goes through all of our console generations pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, there is one, the next phase that we're forgetting about, and actually, it's funny because we get to flex on Will, but me, Tanner, and Brandon all have virtual reality consoles.
Oh, look at
Oh.
that.
Yeah.
Well,
Although,
here's the thing about virtual reality for me. I don't really have any interest in getting one.
yeah, I mean, the point of that is like right now, it's kind of low on content. All of them combined are low on content,
That's one of the reasons
mainly
I'm turned
because
away.
it's hard as hell to make one of those games, I'm sure. And most companies are just avoiding it for at least
And
now.
it honestly
Uh,
it looks like a bit of a pain to set up.
no, actually, well, I mean, it depends on what you get, but I have the Quest, and so does Brandon. And
Yeah.
it's simple as hell. It's simple as hell.
I don't know. I also don't have a
Yeah.
lot of room for something like that because I can't really put it downstairs because my mom basically moved her entire office
Huh.
down into where we used to have our game room. Now the game room is our rooms. So,
Dang.
and I really
Mm.
don't have the space in my room to set something like that up, nor
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
wiring.
I think I was the first to get one.
You were.
Yeah.
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 I because and so what made me get it was there's like a person who lives a couple houses down from me, and we're cool. Me and him are cool. And so I went over to his house one time, and he says, "Hey, have you ever played VR before?" I'm like, "VR? What's that?" He's like, "It's called virtual. It's like virtual reality. You just kind of put these goggles on, and it makes you feel like you're in the game." And I'm like, "Ooh, that sounds pretty cool. I kind of want to try." And so he put the headset on me. He's like, "Okay, just try to stay in this little boundary. You should be able to see where you are, so just try and avoid it." And I'm like, "Okay." The first game he had me play was Emily Wants to Play.
Oh my god.
Fuck.
That was really fucking scary,
Yo, that
but it
game is
was
scary
also
without
super
virtual
fun.
reality.
I know that game is scary without Jesus. But that's and then he said like, "All right, you can play let's play this drawing game." And so um uh and so he said it's kind of like Pictionary. It's kind of what it is.
Hmm.
And and they said like, "Yeah, that's pretty much all I have right now. Other games I kind of don't want to go into detail." And I just said, "That's fine."
Uh,
Porn games?
No, it was just like
I think that's
games he didn't have
implied.
like downloaded or needed to update,
Oh.
or just like he didn't feel like explaining how they work. Or he thought I was gonna break something, and
Mhm.
so he just says, I kind of don't want you to play these games, considering you may break something in my room and eat that, or it's not downloaded." And I said, "Fair enough." And so I kind of left saying like, I want a VR now. And so I texted my mom saying like, "Hey, I want a VR. I'm gonna save up money to buy a VR." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And at the time, I did have a job, and so I was able to earn money pretty quickly. And then my and once I had enough money, I kind of kept looking, and I kind of just looked around, and I finally found one from like GameStop that I could buy. And a couple days later, I got it. And then, funny thing is, because the first day I got it, it didn't work.
Mm.
Like, I hooked it up the right way, but the headset just wouldn't turn on. And so I contacted HTC, and then they fixed it for me. And then I, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm really good at Beat Saber, though. I will say that.
Bro, me too,
And I'm
dude.
proud of that.
I practiced hard at it. I think I could challenge you to a duel one day.
You mean,
I'm okay.
dude,
I'll accept my defeat.
Just okay is not okay.
next time I have my party, we can challenge each other.
I've never played anything virtual reality, so I'll have to.
Uh,
Uh,
once COVID clears over, I'll welcome you to my house eventually, and I'll let you play
oh yeah, and
whatever.
I'm sending y'all remember that thing I talked about for the
Yeah,
Spider-Man game.
that's
Yeah.
cursed as hell.
Yeah, I'm sending it to y'all right now. But
And I'm sure you're putting it on the screen for the audience.
I'll put it on the screen for the audience, and when I
Yeah.
edit it, when I edit it. But
Mhm.
so,
No.
I guess we can move away from virtual reality now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, what? How much? How are we doing on time? Let me check real quick. All right, we're doing good. Uh, so I guess if we run out, if this is like the last topic. If we don't run out of time, uh,
Hmm.
this hopefully it's not the last topic. But I want to ask y'all, what is y'all's favorite all time game? And y'all can just go balls to the
Ooh.
walls. Tell me everything, like why it's your favorite. It can be any game, like literally
That's
any game
hard.
that's your favorite. Like
It's hard. I have objective favorites, but there's games that come very close as well.
all right, but
Yeah.
basically, I just want to
There.
know what's y'all's favorite game. If y'all can't think of one, just think of a couple, and then just tell us why, and we'll judge you very harshly.
All right, hell, let me go here. All right,
All right.
Mario Kart Wii. You cannot deny the power of Mario Kart Wii
Yeah.
Yeah.
That has a. You can play that for days upon days without
forever.
getting bored.
And like it's crazy that that game is still getting so like there are people that have created
Yes.
dedicated servers to keep Mario Kart Wii online.
Yeah.
Just custom track like it's insane the amount of support. Like that game it just has such a good connection with audiences. Like for me, I have like my connection with it is cuz like it literally got anybody in my family to play video games with me. Got my fucking
Yeah.
80-year-old nana to play Mario Kart with me. Or it wasn't my
The
nana.
commercials
It was
were
my
right.
grandma. No, it was my grandma. It was my grandma. But yeah, that game just has it's powerful in terms of like
Yeah, I mean, everything came together to make a beautiful game. The maps are the best. The songs are the best. The character selection isn't garbage like it is nowadays sometimes.
hey,
You know, it was just such a nice thing to have back then that it just folded my childhood into a very pleasant time.
hmm, hey, it has Grumble Volcano, so
That's not I okay, you keep saying that. It's not the best.
I love Grumble Volcano. You will never understand.
Okay.
But I mean, if anything came close to Mario Kart Wii for me, I would really hype up Super Mario Odyssey. I love that game to death. And you know what else is there to say about it? It's a fucking great game too.
All
Okay.
right, Tanner, you want to go
All
next?
right.
I'll go. And I will say I do have a three-way tie for my favorite game. Um let's start off with Black Ops 2. That is easily one of my favorite that's one of my favorite games and that's my favorite Call of Duty franchise game. The multiplayer was really great. I loved it. The campaign was also really good. And my favorite part was the zombies. I am a big zombies player when it comes to Call of Duty.
Hmm.
That's one of my favorite game. That's like one of my favorite things to play when I'm just not hanging out with friends or not doing anything really. I was scared as hell to play it as a kid. I'm pretty sure everyone was. But that's that. My second contender is Mario Kart Wii. I'm I'm using the same reasons that Gavin used, and my third favorite is Team Fortress 2.
That's good.
And
That's a good list.
that was probably when I got a computer, that was one of my favorite games to play. Well, I would play it on my old laptop. I would play it on my friend's computer when I went to his house, and I would play it on my personal computer sometimes. But when I got my computer is when it started to die down. But it was easily one of my favorite games to play.
Hmm. In
Oh,
terms of Call of
all
Duty,
right.
like I agree with you. I don't enjoy zombies as much as I used to, but I've played all I haven't played every single COD game. I played all the Black Ops games, and I love I have a special connection to 3 because it's the first COD game I've ever played.
To
Like,
Black Ops 3.
yeah, Black Ops 3, like campaign and
Yeah, that
zombies.
was
The
a
zombies
really
in
good
3,
one.
I love Black Ops 3 zombies. But
Oh yeah.
I'm
Oh, that
also
was a really good one.
but I'm also a bit of a kicker for like World at War zombies because I think that's where the zombies actually started
That's where zombies
was World at
started.
War,
Yeah,
and World
World
at
at
War
War.
also had a great campaign. So
I didn't
Yeah.
have World at War. I started with BO2 for zombies. But yeah, when it comes to zombies, Treyarch definitely won there
yeah, Treyarch is
with its
excellent.
zombies mode. Yeah. And so it when BO2 ended, it kind of died down a little bit for me and you're like, okay. And easily one of my favorite maps of all time was
Boy, gonna say Nuketown.
no, God no, you're
I hate it. Okay, you
whoever
hate
likes Nuketown, you if you think Nuketown Zombies is good,
No,
I
it's
do
horrible.
not think you deserve to play
It's
zombies. You
horrible.
deserve it is not good at all. But easily one of my two of my favorite maps, Mob of the Dead and Origins. That is Origins is a big map for that's like a one of the
It's
best
humongous.
maps of all time
I
for
agree.
zombies. Same thing with
Yeah.
Mob of the Dead,
Hmm.
but a lot of people like Origins better.
Yeah, I don't really have a favorite in zombies maps. I just play them whenever. All right, but
I've beaten like Horizon Drac like 20 times. That's
that's how much you played.
yeah, that's how much I play.
Yeah. All right. Brandon, you're up.
Alright. Uh, I have top three. My One of my favorites just changed, but here my list: Animal Crossing City Folk, because I grew up with it and it's a really good game. Two, Gmod, because just like Tanner, it was like he had a game that got on the PC gaming, and Gmod was mine. It was the first game that I got, and I had a lot of fun playing it.
Yeah, Gmod's one of my very close contenders. It's definitely in my top 10.
And
Keep going.
third, just changed like this week. I haven't finished it, but Amnesia: The Dark Descent is my third favorite game of all time.
Wow.
Invisible water
I can definitely
monster.
tell you're enjoying it.
Wow. I didn't know you were doing it
I
that much.
It
That's
looks
great.
like a good game.
I like it a lot, but I also hate it a lot.
Legacy of Horror.
But
Water
it's
monster.
yeah. But I
It's
gotta finish it.
I definitely think
It's
it's a
amazing.
good horror game. I really don't I'm not a big fan of horror games. I'll just say that.
I love them honestly. All right. Well, I guess that leaves me. And as much as like some people might think it is, Smash Ultimate is not my favorite game of all time.
It's
It's up.
Melee, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's
Okay.
Ultimate. I've barely played it. I don't
Brawl.
really like Melee that much. Brawl is pretty good,
Me
but
neither.
Ultimate is definitely up there with some of my favorite games. Simply because the amount of time I've poured into it, the amount I enjoy it, like casually and competitively, even if it has its flaws. That if you play competitive Smash and you listen to this podcast, you are very much aware of. But I'm honestly stuck between two games right now, and I posted this. If y'all ever, I know Gavin looks at my Twitter sometimes because I'm pretty sure he commented on something I put today.
I did comment on something you put today.
But well, hold on, let me find it real quick. But I know what game is my favorite, and the one right below it is tied to be my favorite game. The first
Tied.
up, okay, I found it. All right, so it's not well. The list is out of order, but my favorite game of all time, this will never change till the day I die, is Super Mario Galaxy 2. I'm telling you, Gavin, you can sigh all you want. I love Odyssey, but I've always just preferred Galaxy 2. Now, not specifically Galaxy 1, because Galaxy 2 fixed everything that Galaxy 1 had problems with. The levels are so memorable. The soundtrack is amazing. The boss fights, while some of them are fairly easy, are very unique and also memorable. The power-ups just enhance everything about the game. The game just has so much variety that it just keeps on giving. Even if there are some like filler galaxies like Twisty Trials and Mario Square, like yeah, they're filler, but there's so much better stuff that it doesn't really bog it down. And even if you beat the game, you still have green stars to get. The game has such great post-game content. And it's infamous for starting the Mario trend of like incredibly hard levels at the end of the game with the perfect run. I can still remember the day that I finally beat the perfect run, and I don't think there'll be any kind of satisfaction that'll beat that. I just absolutely like y'all will see me in Discord just playing Super Mario Galaxy 2 music on the bot. That's just how much I love it.
Yeah.
I listen to it so much. It's just such a good soundtrack. And of course, I'm very, you know, picky. Like I'm not picky, but I'm very judgmental on soundtracks. And if it's as like a soundtrack like Mario Galaxy 2, it's just incredible. I can go on about the game. It looks great for a Wii game too. Just everything about it. It's such a good game. And
I do
Mwah.
agree. Mario Galaxy 2 is a good game.
well, you know what? I actually have a three-way tie now. So the next game is a bit of an oddball pick, and I doubt y'all might have heard about this game, but it's also a Wii game, and it's called Pokemon Battle Revolution.
No.
I've never heard
No,
of that.
I've never
If you've
heard of
ever
it.
heard of Pokemon Coliseum or Shadow XD Gale of Darkness, they're basically battle simulators where you can send Pokemon from the DS games into the other game, and they all had rendered 3D models and like specific animations. But like that's not that's part of the reason why I think it's a good game. I think it's good because I grew up playing it so much. The music in it's one of the most underrated Pokemon's well soundtracks in general for a Nintendo game. The music is so underrated. I play some of it sometimes in the bot, but I don't play it that often. But the soundtrack is very it fits every location. Every location is very unique and varied. The themes with like each trainer, the trainers have somewhat of a personality with the Pokemon they choose and the lines they have. There's so much customization with the trainers' outfits. And yeah, it's just I spent so much time playing it, and then like some of the animations are like gold, but like the one of the things that takes it from me is the announcer. The announcer just sounds so pumped for anything that's happening on screen. I'll show y'all a video later of like some of the lines he says. They're just absolute gold. But the last game, Gavin, this is a new one because I still play this game even though I've basically seen everything it has to offer, and that's Doki Doki Literature Club.
Ah.
I have played Doki Doki so much, and it's just because I don't. It's not really a game. It's a visual. But Gavin can tell you the first time I played this game, I was completely blown away by just everything that was happening. Like Gavin, I think I even had an existential crisis whenever we
You
got to
did.
this game.
You did. And
That game's
uh,
story messed me up. And like I just cuz like I'm so intrigued, and like there's a bit of randomness in like the stuff that happens in games, like I want to keep seeing it and see what happens. And the music is surprisingly catchy for a horror game. And I honestly don't have much to say after that because I lost my
uh,
train of thought again.
hell, I mean, I can defend Doki Doki a lot, but I can understand that it's not a game for everyone. But the people that are into games like that, uh, should definitely experience it if they haven't, because it's so good. In my humble, it's like it isn't the perfect horror game by any means, but I think the story is rich as hell, and I love the music just like you.
Yeah.
And it's in my Spotify. It's playing right now. I was just listening to it as you started speaking, which is ironic as hell, but
I mean, I have Virtual
um,
Reality on Netflix on my
that's what was
phone.
fun. That's literally what's playing right now.
Wow.
But the thing is about this game is that compared to a lot of other games, this game made me feel something. Not like genuine. Not sorry, not like genuine. I meant like not like Toy Story 3. I cry at the end of Toy Story 3 because it's sad. But this game like really warmed me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was something. It was a just a battle of emotions through the entire game, and I love that so much.
I can
Yeah,
safely say that the only other game that's made me feel something the way Doki Doki has is Undertale. But I still prefer Doki Doki a lot more.
I only have one emotion while playing Amnesia, and that's just fear.
Yeah.
Paranoia.
Where's the water monster?
Yeah, they freaking trick you with that. They taunt you with the water, and then there's no water monster.
I got my train of thought back. I've played through the game so much that like I've played around with like there's an ending where if you delete Monica's save file, not save file, character file at the very beginning of the game, Sayori just runs onto the screen and is like, "Whoa! Oh wait! Ah!" And then the game just crashes.
She's like, "What the fuck?" And then the
Yeah, the
game
game just
dies.
crashes. You have to re-download it. I thought that was
Best
funny.
ending, speed run ending, 10
Essentially,
minutes.
how fast can
Yeah.
you hit the enter key?
To me, Doki Doki Literature Club is a very weird game.
Oh hell
It is
yeah!
more weird to me
Mm.
than horror. I just find it a very, very strange game to play. I played through it. I didn't finish it. I never really started, actually. I played a few minutes of it, I think, and I was like, what the hell is going on?
Dude, it's a trip.
It's a
I
trip.
mean, it really is, and it's hard to play the game without just like taking a day to just process what you witnessed.
Except if
Yeah.
you're me and Gavin and you basically played it every night.
Yeah, no, Will was just kind of traumatized to play it every day.
And my condition
And then by
got
the
worse
end
and
of it, he
worse.
was. It really did.
But
Like he's not even saying that as a joke. It really did.
Like, here's what happened. Here was my Doki Doki playthrough, and Gavin can back me up on this. When we first started playing the game, I was not taking it seriously. Like I was joking around so much.
Mhm.
And like I was literally like commenting, "Oh look, all the girls are lined up by height and boob size." And then like as soon as as soon as Sayori commits suicide, I was like, "What the fuck?" And like I started noticing stuff that Gavin never saw, like the fucking room started tilting in one of the conversations.
That's yeah.
And then,
Minor sub details it changed every time, but
like the
like
special poems, dude. I will never let this down. The first time I got special
some
poems.
of the psychological horror elements cut deep, especially whenever it's my third playthrough and I wasn't expecting
Yeah.
it.
But the one of the special poems, I will always remember this. It will never go out of my head. One of the special poems, it was just a line of text and it said, "Can you hear me?" And then when the screen started fading to black, you could hear a girl laughing.
And
And like Gavin literally sat down and I was literally
that's just some typical like FNAF shit right there. That is just something
but
that just
it felt different.
screams.
It
because
felt
because of
different
the
than
way the
FNAF
game
because
the
it
game is
wasn't.
basically talking to you.
Yeah, it was like less jump scary, more like spine chilling. And you know, like
Yeah.
FNAF is good at like scaring you up front, and there's a little bit of ha ha ha. Oh, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. But what scared me about Doki Doki was how much it could just make you shiver. It was It was really
Yeah.
hard sometimes.
There were
Yeah.
parts during my first playthrough where I was just completely silent, and Gavin like would just have to check on me periodically, like, "Will?"
Yeah, no, I'm like, Will, are you still alive over there?
I don't. Whenever I play like these sort of campaign story mode type of things,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really feel. I don't really feel much. Like whenever I played it kind of depends on what kind of game it is, you know. Like whenever I played the Modern Warfare 2 campaign again, because I kind of started halfway through when my dad introduced me to it. And I'm like, I want to play it again to see what the other missions were.
Alright.
Jesus Christ. I remember playing No Russian, and I was just like, what the fuck? Because y'all know what I'm talking about, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Y'all
I
know
what you're talking
No Russian? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm making sure. But that just got me like, what?
about. Just a big
Just
ol'
why would a game just make you do that?
Alright, thank you all
Or-
so much for watching. Tanner, thank you for joining us today. It was a pleasure to have
No
you.
problem, man. I'm glad
Do
to
you
be
guys
here.
want to plug yourself so the people watching know where to
Um,
find you?
Yeah, guys,
Uh,
recently we all made YouTube channels because we're all jumping on a weird bandwagon all of a sudden. You can find me at GavinT360.
you can find me at twitch.tv/LawIamEgg as well on YouTube.
You can find me on Twitch and YouTube at BranManRex.
Alright, thank you guys, and thank you all so much for watching, and we will see y'all next week. Bye!
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.